Hi friends, it's Rachel from Great Minds Think Alike. I had someone ask me for some directions on this Pinwheel Fun Fold card, so I thought I would just make a quick video and share with everyone. So I'm starting with my piece of DSP from the Pears DSP. It is an online exclusive available now starting in July. So I've cut my paper to 6 by 6, and then on my paper trimmer I'm going to score at 1.5 inches. So I will score at 1.5 inches all the way around my square. It's just that easy. And we'll fold it. I'll go ahead and finish the card, but this is really all you need to see to be able to put the card together. If you follow me on Facebook at my Great Minds Think Alike, I've posted several over the last few weeks, but I'll have them all here at the end to show you in one place. Okay, so I have scored all the way around, and now I need to cut out these corners. Now I find that it's easier to go ahead and fold this a little bit so I can see my lines, but you're just going to cut out the squares here at the corners. And sometimes I have found that I need to go back in and trim it just a little bit closer on some of the squares depending on how well I stayed on the lines. So we'll get through this pretty quickly. I'll show you the fold. I'm using this new suite. The Pears DSP is just beautiful. I have used a lot of it already. Let's see, I was a little crooked there. And I'm also using the Stamp and Die bundle, the Perfectly Pears. It's just a lot of fun to experiment with the different shading and the two-step stamping for filling in the pear. I have a couple projects that I've done. One is part of a tutorial that I'm doing, and another one we'll be doing at our Stamp-A-Stack this weekend if you're somebody that's local. Okay, so now we've got all these flaps folded, and you just need to be sure you do it treat each corner the same way. So I'm going to pull this back and fold it just straight, even with the line. And I'll do the same thing. I'm just going to turn it so it's easier for me to see and easy for me to make sure I am being consistent with my corner that I'm folding down. And that's basically all you have to do. So now I am going to, I want to get it as straight as I can. And I have found sometimes this little opening, when you close it up, it's kind of like when you tuck a box flap in. When you close it up, sometimes your hole in the center can be bigger or smaller. It just kind of depends on how you've cut, but I don't think it makes much difference. So I've got an inside piece. Some of mine I've left blank. It just depends on what it is that what purpose you want this card to serve. I'm going to put it on a normally open close kind of card, but you could just do it on one sheet and this be the open and close portion of the card. Now on another card I made this piece 3 by 3 in the center. This one I trimmed down just a smidge so there's just a little bit of a frame for it. So I like to fold the bottom one first, so I'm not getting myself confused, but you could obviously start that any place, like I said, just like you're closing up a box. You could stick these down if you wanted to. I like the flappiness of it. It kind of tells people to open me. All right, and I'll just finish off my card here quickly. This will get mounted on a, now as I put my adhesive there, I realize I did not put my inside piece facing the right way, but I don't think anybody's going to notice. I don't think it's going to make a bit of difference, but I would have paid more attention to that if I had realized, but that's okay. We can fix most anything is what I always say when we're stamping, and that really doesn't need to be fixed. Nobody knows until I point it out. So, all right, let me get these tucked back in again. So I would advise that you pay attention to that. Now, these were done with the dies that came from the Perfectly Pears dies. And I just had made a few pieces and I thought that would be fun to put on the inside. Be careful with this last flap. If you're not careful, you can bend that when you're sticking it in to the fold. Okay, put a little adhesive on this. I'm going to stamp it. I chose to use words from the Notes and Totes for this one. I'm going to do just a simple sending warm wishes, because that could apply to anything. And it is easier. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black here. It is easiest to stamp this before you've got your pinwheel piece glued down. Now, if you had a smaller block, that probably would work just fine. But no need for a mishap at this point, so I went ahead and did that first. And my card is finished. Now, like I said, you could skip this back flap and just make it like a card front, and then this is the opening and closed portion of your card, but I like the idea of having just a little message there and then more on the inside. So let me show you a couple more versions. This is from the Painterly Pears DSP. Also, I used the Just a Note from the Notes and Totes stamp set. And here are just a few others that you may have seen already. This one, I didn't put anything on the inside because I wanted this paper to show off when it was opened up. This one is one of my favorite DSPs. This one, I used the stamp set that coordinated with the paper to put a hello on the inside. So I hope you give a try and make a few of these and let me know how they go. Thanks for watching.